Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream with Mint Market. Today we have Thursday, the 27th. We have already seen some movement down and a reversal up again. We had a huge down move yesterday, so I expect kind of a choppy consolidating session today in New York. I will try to give you my analysis live, and also I will do live trades and live execution in front of you if I do find any. Please be aware that all being said and shown here is my personal opinion. That's no signal service nor trade or investment advice. Do not real risk money with anything being said and shown here. You might lose real money, and everything is on your own risk. With that being said, let's jump right into the analysis. I have already done a lot of annotations today, so I hope it's kind of visible. We have, as I said already, a huge down day today, a little bit further move lower and then a retracement so far, and I expect a kind of consolidating choppy day. We have taken out sell side liquidity and retraced since. We're now back into the range. The range is from the high to the low here. Let's measure that real quick. So from this high to this low here, so approximately midpoint is like around here. So we're back in the middle of the range, and we can see there is not real clean price action. It's very balanced already. So we have to expect a low resistance liquidity run conditions today. And also I would expect turtle soup setup. So I think we can see reversal setups, taking highs and taking lows out and then reverse after. So I'll be watching that. We have on the lower time frames here, I've already marked the first presented fair value gap here. We have the 8:30 opening. We're at the moment above the 8:30 opening and below the New York midnight price. We have opening range gap here. We had a discount gap, traded lower, back into the gap now. And we have also a new day opening gap, which is here delineated in yellow. New week opening gap on a 15-minute time frame, which is this one. We have traded through and back up. At the very moment, I'm not seeing any high probability setups. What I'm looking is for a run on buy side liquidity as we saw it here, and then a reversal setup back to maybe the first presented fair value gap here. We have taken buy side liquidity here, fair value gap here. We have almost closed in opening range gap. Let's see if we find a turtle soup short maybe after we took out some liquidity. As of now, this liquidity run is not extremely convincing for me. We still have important highs left in my opinion. So let's see. We gotta wait for a little bit more insight here before we can act on anything. If you're watching, let me know. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, let me know in the chat. I'm happily answering them. so far so good. Yesterday, so we are back into the range. We have like, this is not very bearish in my opinion. I would have preferred if we just drop hard from here, but we have a very balanced range here, so we need to expect some resistance here, and let's see if we can go deeper into this, or if this reversal can stay here or can persist. So far I'd be slightly bullish. I would expect some more upside here. I will remove the draws from yesterday. Yesterday first presented fair value gap from the PM session. We don't need this anymore. What we need is today's midnight range. So what I'm going to mark here is the highest high between midnight and half past midnight, and that would be this high to this high here. So far we see a slight reversal. What we can look is if we can make it back into this first presented fair value gap. We have to be very careful today, in my opinion. We should not expect large one-sided price moves. We should take scalps and use turtle soup liquidity runs as our framework. There was no entry here except a turtle soup here. In my opinion, nothing I would be confident to enter on. So we gotta wait and see what the price wants to do. I think there is still some room to the upside. We have relatively equal highs here. We've taken sell side liquidity already, so I could imagine seeing some more upside here. So I would not be done. I think it's possible to see some more upside here and try to run these highs here. Not sure if I find a trade here, but we have also market structure shift here. Low, high, lower, low. And let's see what we get. We have a potential, this fair value, this first presented fair value gap could act as an inversion fair value gap since we have traded through it. So if we trade back into it, this could be a long entry here. So let's see what the reaction is here. I'm preparing to take a long here. I'm preparing to take a long here in a high resistance liquidity run though. Right, I will take a long here. And the stop will be below here. And we will take our chance to target these relatively equal highs here. Ideally, we should not come back below the midpoint here. We have just confirmed a bullish order block here. So I'm confident with the long as of now. Looks good. And we have relatively equal highs here and even further liquidity up on the upside here as well. So far, so good. I'll move the stop to break even. Should not come back here in a perfect world. So we are in plus here already, so whatever happens, I don't care too much. And ideally we see some sharp movement up here without coming back into the range and trying to take out this low. We have put this first presented fair value gap as an inversion fair value gap here. Back into the range. That's not an ideal scenario in my opinion. Would be better if we just take out the high here quickly. However, everything's still in play. I think we should make another attempt higher, and after this I could see another, after we take buy side liquidity, I could see another sell-off. I'd prefer to see first another run higher before we see a sell-off and go back to this low here. We have another fair value gap here, coupled with a with the order block. So ideally we hold ground here. Ideally we go higher from here. So far so good. We gotta wait. Trade is in a comfortable position. However, I want to see a sharp reaction from here. First fair value gap, second one order block. So ideally we just go higher from here and take out some liquidity. Would be not ideal to see another run into this range. But again, we had a huge run yesterday, so we kind of can expect a choppy day today. Nothing very surprisingly. So it will be a harder day. Time to move. So far, so good. Relatively equal highs here, should see that swept and see maybe even higher, but trying not to demand too much these days or in today's session. Gotta be nimble and gotta be patient. If you're watching, if you like this kind of format, if you like me doing live analysis and trades, I would highly appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up, if you like and subscribe the channel. Would be a huge motivation for me to keep going and to grow this small little channel. So thanks in advance for that. All right, so stop just triggered, still stopped out in profit. So not a big deal. And yeah, just a very small profitable stop out here. I'm still looking for longs. Maybe the stop was a little bit too tight. We touched here the opening range gap again. Maybe that was a little bit too tight. But the reaction is not ideal anyways. Still think we are likely to go higher at the moment. I will actually re-enter here. Target still the same. Give the trade a little bit more room maybe. But again, it's a hard day today. We are, let me check real quick here. Weak opening gap, midpoint here, and upper quarter approximately here. Let's see, nice little move was here, first presented fair value gap at the opening. After a couple of minutes, nice little 50 handles to close this new week opening gap in. No, not what I wanted to do. Then we had the inversion fair value gap here. Took liquidity out and have a 2022 model here. Took a high out here, swing high, traded back, fair value gap. Also here we have a balanced price range here. Respected that the wick through. And then inverted this fair value gap here. Retrace, inversion fair value gap here. Should respect the midpoint. And now let's see if we can make a run. I think buy side liquidity is the draw. It took buy side liquidity shallowly, but I think the major buy side is still in play. Makes no sense for me to leave that intact here. A lot of people probably wanted to go short, are still short. And the stops are somewhere here. And it's grinding towards their stops. And in my opinion, we'll come and get them. Right, another move up, so we'll move the stop higher. I'll put the stop to break even as well here. should run higher at some point now. And again, this is not a very low resistance liquidity round today. So we gotta wait and we gotta be patient. And we gotta be nimble, very, very nimble. Don't expect ultra high targets and be careful with our stop. But on the same time, give the stop some room. But I'm okay with if I get stopped out. I don't want to risk too much on a day like this. Come on, give me something here. I want it my way. So far, so good. Let's see if it can gain some ground here. Traded to the low of the opening, new day opening gap, traded below the 8:30 opening in a discount, and has some unfinished business on the buy side. So again, relatively equal highs here. Come on, give me a little bit more sugar here. Bingo. Very nice, very, very nice one. Woohoo, here we go. That is a win. That is a nice win. First, a stop out. Second, a hit a little bit too tight with my stop. Second, a hit right into target. Very nice. So these were our 1,100 bucks. Not too bad. Here in such a choppy environment today. And we are running towards the highs as expected. We still have unfinished business on the buy side, however, don't want to get too greedy here. So once we have ran highs convincingly, I'm more open for a short setup. So once we take out the highs here and reverse, I'd be willing to look for buy side again if we break structure. Not saying that we're going lower now. It could also continue going higher. But if we run the highs here and then reverse, I might think about a short here, targeting these relatively equal lows with the first presented fair value gap below. We have reached into today's midnight opening range here with these green lines here, touch that, and the midnight opening price. So let's see if, and we have also reached the high of our opening range gap. So let's see if we hold ground here and see some support here, or if we go lower. However, I don't care too much since we have our win already banked today. And this is nice. Good day so far. Good day so far under these conditions. So far nothing to act on. We are in a premium now. Let's see how we react after taking out some highs here. I could see another reversal going for sell side again or back into the range once we took out highs convincingly. Don't want to take a long here, so I'm in a waiting position at the very moment. We have a new equity high, 12,000 as well, by the way. Nothing to do right now. Let's enjoy our win and see if there's another setup occurring. And if not, we will be content with enough. And here we go, final buy side liquidity. So now we have buy side liquidity taken, and we have to see how much higher we want to go. Let me check real quick. Let me check real quick what's possible in my opinion here. So far it looks bullish. We have an inversion fair value gap here. We have another 1 hour fair value gap here. So let's see how price is reacting to this. So we have a 1 hour fair value gap, buy side liquidity taken. Let's see if there is a potential reversal on the way, targeting where my focus is right now. If we go lower, is here. But we need to see a market structure shift here. I'm not willing to short right away here. We could still go higher as well. So I need a convincing rejection here now. Otherwise, we could also resume going higher. So I need a clear and convincing rejection here, some inversion levels, before I'd be willing to short for these relatively equal lows here. I'm not interested in highs here. So if we continue going higher, or if we stay strong here, I will just pass on the price action. So far, nothing to do. We have the full hour macro in like 8 minutes, so we can wait for that. So far, we are sitting still. Mm-hmm. 5 minutes until the full hour macro. Nothing I'm really interested in at the very moment. We have this 1 hour fair value gap. I want to see if we reject that or if we find support here. If we stay high or go higher, I'm not interested in anything. If we see a clear reversal with a market structure shift at some point, I'd be willing to take a short back into the middle of the range approximately, and that would be 20,054 and even lower. So Yeah, the 20,046. So my final target for a short would be 20,030 approximately, which is these relatively equal lows here and the first presented fair value gap here. But only if we find a market structure shift. Otherwise, I'm happy with what we did so far already. New equity high. Would highly appreciate it if you give the stream a thumbs up, if you share it with your friends, if you're interested, if you subscribe to the channel and help me to grow this small little channel. Would be huge motivation for me. Thanks in advance for that. Let's see what we get here. We have 2 minutes until the opening, until the full hour macro here. And I'm delineating this fair value gap as a potential inversion level if we see some displacement to the downside. We have traded below. So far we're below this 1 hour fair value gap, which is good. Would be nice to see reject that. So far, so good. So far, so good. And if we go through this fair value gap, if we invert that, if we trade through and back into it, I might consider a short if we do something like this. That's what I'd be interested in. Hey Dhab, cool, happy that you're watching. How are you, bro? I had already a very nice trade today, so I'm happy and content. I'm satisfied today, but I might look for even another trade, which I will actually Let me think about this one more time. It's not very convincing yet. We broke this fair value gap here, but we are back up again. So I'm not sure if I want to short that right away. Doesn't look very trustworthy yet. Yeah, I'm glad because we already pulled one off today, along from here up to here, or up to here. And now I'm seeing if I can get another reversal set up here back into the range, or if I will be content. We are in the full hour macro, and I will give it another 8 minutes to form a convincing setup, and if not, I'm going to close the stream for today. And be happy with my win. And I'm looking at these equal lows here as a potential target. So far, no signs of a reversal. So far, it looks like it stays strong here and kind of uses this 1 hour fair value gap as a bullish support, which is nothing I'm interested in. I'm not willing to take a long here. We are too much in a premium. I'd rather short back into the range, but only after a convincing market structure shift. So far, we could go higher here. We have taken sell side liquidity, so we could be going higher from here. Nothing says we don't see that. However, I'm not sure if I want that. We can look now if this 1 hour fair value gap forms as an inversion at some point for higher prices. So I don't think we will see a short in this session. Looks very strong so far, but that's okay. We have another fair value gap here. We have a breakaway gap here, looks like a breakaway gap here, and another fair value gap here. So looks like we are going higher for now. So my analysis so far is we're seeing higher prices at the very moment. No signs of a reversal. We confirmed this 1 hour fair value gap, and looks like we have another high here. Let me check real quick where the upper quadrant is. The upper quadrant here we have reached already. looks like we're now trading back into the... Actually, for fun, we can try a long here. Not for fun, but at the moment looks like we're seeing longs here. We have a fair value gap here, and I think we're more likely to see a long here. However, I will be... Stop would need to be below here. And we can aim for a higher high here. Why am I taking another long here? Is since we traded convincingly through this 1 hour fair value gap, so that looks like a support level here, and we have a market structure shift here, another one bullish, and a fair value gap. So I think it's more likely to see higher prices than lower prices. We have a potential breakaway gap here, and let's see. And furthermore, I'm risking only half of what I made in my first trade. So even if I get stopped out here, we will end the day positive, since we are up about 1100 and plus here with our stop out and our trade. So I can afford to risk another one here without being very concerned. It's not a very high probability trade in my opinion. It's not like a trade where I would risk huge. It's nothing I would bet the farm on. It's just to scratch the itch. It's just to push the edge. What I do not like about this trade too much is that we are already in a huge premium. We're way above the 8:30 opening price, and we're way above the midnight opening price. However, also the midnight opening range here acted as support. Here we traded into these two green lines, we traded into it and basically respected it so far. I would rather see price to go right away higher here, would not like another retrace deeper from here, but let's see. I'll actually move the stop a little bit more up. I want to move it below 50% of this 1 hour fair value gap. Oh, that's very aggressive, admittedly. However, we have one fair value gap here, one small little, another low here, fair value gap here, 50% of the range. So in our ideal world, it should not come all the way back here. Would like to see some higher high here, some speed and magnitude. That's not what I like to see. I'll actually be a little bit more aggressive on my stop. I don't want to take a loss here. Either it runs now or it stops me out, I don't care. I want to close the stream. Ideally the stop, to be sure, the stop would need to be much more conservative, but I'm fine. We have a small little fair value gap here. Want to see if it respects that one. And so far it had not enough strength to take out this high. Should have done it already in my opinion. So willing to take this small loss here. All right. And that's it. All right. That's it from me, folks, today. Trade recap here again. Too long, one stop out in profit, one hit, target hit here, and one very, very small little stop out here just for trying to see if it can find some more strength. It can still go lower, don't get me wrong. It can still go higher from here, but I'm not willing to give up my profits for a B setup here. So we got approximately 1,000 plus here. I'm happy with and content with that. We had like 50 handles approximately in the S&P, in the Nasdaq, and I will be fine with this. I probably won't be able to stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if I can make it tomorrow. I cannot promise it. If I can, I will. Thanks for watching, everybody. Wish you a great day, rest of the day. I would highly appreciate if you give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Would be a huge motivation to continue this kind of format here and grow this small little channel. Have a great day, all the best, and see you maybe tomorrow. Otherwise, probably I will be most likely back on Tuesday.